Many years ago, in the heart of Prague, where cobblestone streets echoed with life and the aroma of freshly baked bread filled the markets, there stood an ancient library. Its tall windows let in slivers of sunlight that danced on endless shelves holding countless stories waiting to be discovered. But inside this treasure trove of knowledge, nestled in a quiet corner, lived a secret. In those days, a poor young boy named Tomas dreamed of becoming a teacher one day. He longed to read the books in the grand library, but he had no money to buy candles to light his way through them. One evening, after finishing his chores, he snuck into the library. It was so silent that even a pin drop would have echoed through the stillness. Carrying only a tiny stub of candle, barely an inch long, he found his way to the darkest corner and sat cross-legged on the floor. Holding the precious flame close to the pages, his eyes sparkled with wonder as the words transported him to magical lands and exciting adventures. That little bit of wax became his most prized possession, for without it, the books would be lost in darkness. Each night he'd race home from his chores, his heart pounding with excitement. He'd hurry back to the library, eager to lose himself in another tale. As the weeks went by, the stub grew shorter and shorter, but Thomas's love for reading grew with each passing day. One particularly cold night, the librarian noticed a faint flicker of light moving between the shelves. Intrigued, she followed the glow and found Thomas in his little corner, his eyes shining brighter than the candle flame as he read. Startled, he looked up, and the librarian, seeing the meager candle flame, asked, "Why are you hiding here, child? Why are you risking your life every night by coming here alone?" Thomas trembled as he looked at the floor. "I only wanted to read, ma'am. This is all the light I have," he whispered, holding up the nearly melted stub. The librarian's heart went out to the boy. Instead of scolding him for sneaking in, she walked over to her desk, opened a drawer, and took out a bundle of fresh candles. She handed them to Thomas, saying, "A light meant for one page can light many pages, child. Don't hide in the darkness, for knowledge is meant to be shared." From that night on, Thomas no longer read in fear. The librarian often found him in his corner, his little flame now burning bright. He would read with a smile, knowing that he wasn't just lighting one page at a time, he was lighting many. Years flew by like the pages of a book, and Tomas, guided by the librarian's words, grew into a fine young man. The humble candle flame that had flickered in a dark corner had ignited a passion that burned brightly within him. He became a respected teacher, sharing his love for learning with his students. And just like the librarian had done for him, he too gave back, helping others to find their own light. The story of Thomas reminds us that sometimes the smallest act of kindness can have the brightest impact. The librarian didn't just hand out candles. She handed out hope, showing Thomas that someone believed in him, giving him the courage to dream bigger than his circumstances. She didn't just light up a page, she lit up his future. What small act of kindness have you received that had a big impact on you? Share your story in the comments. You never know whose life you might inspire next. If you enjoyed this story, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Subscribe for more heartwarming tales. And if you have a story you'd like to share, send it to us. Thank you for watching. Until next time, remember, you are the protagonist of your own story. Keep writing, and one day your light will shine through the pages of your life.